It came down to a 3-run homer from Kurt Wilson to propel Texas Tech to its 4th trip to Omaha in 6 years, all of those under Tim Tadlock. Beard's 3 daughters all travel in a pack. You'll find them in the stands, sitting in on press conferences or on the fireside chats. He was dealing with a bit of a hamstring injury last week during the regional. However, when Tim Tadlock was asked about his status yesterday, all he would say is that he was moving around. We'll take that now as he was good to go. Andrei Sarazov committed to Texas Tech in mid-January and then enrolled second semester. He's from Russia, and at 18 years old, he's made the quick transition to college life in the States. I don't think they would have brought him back into that game if they thought there was any chance he wouldn't play Monday night. And I think your grad transfer, this is the biggest stage you've ever been on, and you're going to finish your season on that court. Kingsbury said earlier in the week he wanted to see him cut loose out there on the field, freelance a little bit more like he did in high school, and he recruited him. He had nerves at that moment, but They weren't the nerves of like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make it. He had the nerves of, oh my gosh, I have the moment to win this game right now and go to the national championship. And after the game, he just couldn't stop raving about how proud he is of his guys and that he really felt like the better team won tonight. We interrupt you now to bring you breaking news. Texas Tech has parted ways with Cliff Kingsbury. I think a lot of people thought maybe Kingsbury's saving grace would have been that he dealt with a ton of quarterback injuries, and that's his signature. When the Coliseum comes up, what are some of the first memories that come to mind?
A lot of tough practices.
And if it were to bring that home, that would mean Texas Tech would have 2 national championships coming to Lubbock in the month of June, as the men's track and field team just brought home an outdoor championship. Silver lining in all of this is the rest that Texas Tech's going to get, because they would have played 3 days in a row, let's say, if they made it to that championship game.
It just kind of runs full circle because you see the inside and you see the outside, so you kind of have the best of both worlds.
Ronald Ross played for Tech from 2001 to 2005. Daryl Dora from 03 to 2007. In 2005, they were both on the Sweet 16 team. This year, they enjoyed the ride to the final Monday of the season.
I'm happy for these guys. You know, it's a very big deal that they get to play on the last Monday. It was always a dream of mine. I get to witness it, and it's fun.
Both took their careers overseas before coming back to where their careers started.
He recruited me, you know, so we go way back, and we always kept in contact. It happened to be a blessing in disguise that he got the job at Tech, and I was finishing my degree that I didn't finish before I left. So, I mean, it was kind of a lucky draw that I got to be at Tech.
All GAs work odd hours for Coach Beard, but put in a lot of time with the players too.
Ronald's been like a mentor to me. He's been like a big brother to me. You know, obviously he's a legend at Texas Tech. He was an All-American, and I really look up to him, just the way he handles himself on a daily basis. And then obviously, since he was such a great player, I love to learn from him and hear from him.
Ross says he admires Chris Beard's consistency and never settle attitude, and it's contagious to the staff and players.
If you're going to be a GA, especially for a top program, you know that you got to invest a lot of time. You got to be there whenever the coaches need you, and basically you just do whatever you're asked to do.
We definitely get like all those phone calls at 3 a.m. when he's still up watching film and like all that sort of stuff. So just really to see how much like effort and grind he puts into this, if this is the board, it's awesome.
He calls all-nighters a lot. Like if he's not satisfied, he'll watch film until like 5 a.m. Last night we thought he was like in for the night. He's like, all right, good night, I'm going back to work. And it was like midnight probably. So it's just like an everyday thing.
The AP Coach of the Year prioritizes family, not just with his own, but with his players.
I likes it because it keeps him in check and like keeps him humble.
Yeah, I mean, he's always said like he really only has basketball and family, and like I think people might think it's an exaggeration, but it's absolutely not. Like he has no other hobbies. He really just does work and then hangs out with us. So I think it's important that he knows the players have that same sort of like outlet too.
His outlet when he's not coaching.
Big Mamma Mia fan. We have a lot of family jam sessions to Mamma Mia.
Loves ABBA, huge fan of that. Outside of country, that's probably his number one.
Yeah, he's just obsessed with like weird things.
Beard's 3 girls have missed a lot of classes, and they'll miss a couple more to see their dads' all-nighters pay off.
I know my attendance means I'm going to get a B for the first time, which is not fun.
I'll be going to Saturday school to make up my hours, and so, I mean, it's worth it, but it's kind of stressful.
I just have lots of homework that I won't
worth it, right?
But I won't do it until like the plane ride back.
That motivates me to say, hey, it's time for you to make a name for yourself again.
2 years ago, Dominic Franco took a chance, auditioning for the Texas Tech Pomp Squad, a team no male has ever made.
And it never even fazed my mind that I could potentially be the first guy on this team. To me, it was just like, oh, I want to dance.
Franco says males have tried out before, just never made it.
I don't know if many people here know that boys dance, but I've actually heard nothing but like positive outcome from everyone at the school. I'll be at Walmart and random people will just be like, oh, you're the other guy on the dance team, and I go, yeah, that's me. And they just go, I just want to say like congratulations for like doing what you're doing and never letting anything stop you. And I go, thank you so much. Like just it's so cool that people are starting to see this.
Franco's best friend and dance major, Lacey Fortune, says he's an icebreaker for the program.
Especially being in West Texas, a male on a pom squad is huge. It means so many things for gender normativity. I think boys of all ages are looking at Dominic and saying, that's a little bit different. And it's not everything that people thought it was going to be. He still keeps all of his masculinity while doing all of the performances with all of the females.
Franco joined the Pom Squad in 2016, a team with one goal.
To leave a national championship team behind us.
3 national titles later, Franco will once again reinvent himself in Los Angeles.
Do I have a plan? I feel my gut instinct is telling me to say just let it happen and things will play out as it'll play out if you just chase whatever you want.
26 female dancers make up the newest Pom Squad, but Franco is confident there'll be a guy on the team once again.
Wherever you are out there, I'm so beyond proud of you, and even though we may not know each other, will always be your #1 fan.
I was born like this, so I had to get used to it, I guess.
First it was a shock, and I thought, oh wow, how am I going to handle this?
Roman Arenovar was born without that right hand, and to this day, doctors and his family don't know why.
They just thought maybe his arm had gotten caught in the umbilical cord, but they really never gave us any specifics of what had happened.
But what could have held a kid back was fuel to his fire. Roman's mom, Mary Arenovar, started getting him involved in sports when he was 5 years old.
I just kind of went along seeing what he liked, and if he wanted to try something, I let him, and I didn't stand in his way.
Trying football, baseball, basketball, and soccer. The first 2, the ones to stick.
I had to get used to it, but in the long run, it'll get pretty easy.
2 years ago, the Arenovars moved from Welch to Brownfield, transitioning from 6-man to 11-man, and from being a second-string player to playing an integral role on the field.
Going into it, I thought, I'm not sure if I want a kid with one hand playing center for me. I said, well, we'll find somewhere for him to play. And, you know, when he was getting second-string reps, every snap was perfect. Boom, 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 no problems. Well, I was like, let's give him a chance.
He don't hold me to different standards or anything, so I feel great about it. I love it.
Head coach Dwayne Tolliver says he doesn't need to be treated differently. He says Roman has some of the best footwork on the team.
I'll take him any day.
And if you travel 2,000 miles northwest, you'll find who Roman draws his inspiration from. Seattle Seahawks linebacker Shaquem Griffin is the first one-handed football player to be drafted in the NFL. He's a reminder to Arenovar that having one hand doesn't make you any less of a person or a player.
One day I'd love to make it there like him, and just kids look up to me like him.
He sees them and he's like, okay, if they can do this, I can too.
If he can look to Shaquem Griffin for inspiration, that's amazing. Heck, I'm inspired by him.
While Roman looks to Griffin for inspiration, he inspires and surprises those closest to him all the time.
I walked in on him one day lifting weights, and he was doing the bar, and I thought, wow, I mean, it amazes me, and it just leaves you amazed.
Just watching him in there, you know, we lived, and it's not like he wants any special treatment. He does whatever needs to be done, you know, and if he can't do it, he doesn't do it. But he always tries.
We're like, okay, let's see if we can do it like he does, and we can't. And you stop and think, you know, how does he do it?
The answer from Roman is easy.
I just don't think about having one arm. I think I'm just like everyone else.